All right, we'll get started. So good evening, everyone. My name is Carly D'Amato. I'm the Director of Upper School Admission here at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our second fall Ambassador Q&A session. We're so excited to be sharing a little bit more about our community and our campus and answering questions that you may have about our school. To start, I think a nice way to begin the session is to just show our campus. For some of you, you have been here before, you're applicants at the school already. For others, this may just be the first time you're taking a look at SCH. And so the best way I think to start is by just sharing a quick video highlighting our beautiful campus in Chestnut Hill. So please just take a second to enjoy this quick video. Okay, so again, welcome to our fall information session with our amazing student ambassadors. For those that just came in, my name is Carly D'Amato. I'm the Director of Upper School Admission here at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. We're so excited to be having this opportunity to chat with you this evening for the next hour or so. The point of this is to help you get a pulse and an idea about SCH and the questions that you might be curious about answered by the students that are living it, that are part of our community, that have come into our school at different points in their high school or middle school or elementary school days. And it's just a chance for you to hear from them and to hopefully get some of your questions answered. So in a minute, I am actually going to be introducing these amazing individuals. These are our amazing student ambassadors, and they are here to, again, answer the questions that were submitted in advance. So thank you to the families that did write in and provide us with questions. And also we will be taking questions on the fly. So there is a Q&A feature at the bottom of your phone, your tablet, your computer, where you can write in any questions that maybe are going to come up along the way. And this is, again, an opportunity for you to ask questions to the students. I'm happy to try and answer any questions as well about admission at the end of the process and the end of the event. So to start, I think I'll let the students introduce themselves. Tim, since I talked to you about this first, I'm going to go with you and let you introduce yourself, where you went to school prior to SCH, what are you involved in, all those things.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm a senior. I am involved in student facilitators, student ambassadors, and investment club. Last year, I tried out for basketball. Before that, I did soccer mainly and track. And then this upcoming year, I'm probably going to try tennis because I've been more focused on, school and stuff recently. Yeah, that's that, I think. And then Chandler is next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Chandler. I've been going to SCH my whole life, and I'm a senior, and I'm involved with student ambassadors, obviously, and then student facilitators, which is our diversity group, and then DEI Council, which is another one of our diversity groups, and then Honor Council and Players, which is our theater group, and I'm also a writing tutor. and I'll call on Amanda.
Hi, everybody. My name's Amanda. I'm also a senior, and like Chandler, I've been going to SCH since kindergarten. I'm also involved in student facilitators, players, student ambassadors, of course. I'm also a writing tutor, and then I write for the Pub, which is our literary magazine as well. Taylor.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm a senior. I came to SCH my freshman year. I'm involved in student facilitators, student ambassadors. I used to play field hockey my freshman and sophomore year. I used to play lacrosse my freshman year, and I'm trying out squash this year. Kayla?
Hi, I'm Kayla. I've been at SCH since pre-K. I left from first to fourth to go to Hong Kong. And then I came back. I'm involved in student ambassadors, student facilitators, yearbook, and Model UN. And I also am a manager of soccer, and I play squash and lacrosse. Oh, sorry, Jack.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jack. I am a junior. I've also gone to SCH my entire life. This is my 13th year. I started in pre-K. I play 3 sports: cross country, squash, and tennis. I'm involved with honor councils, student ambassadors, of course, Model UN, Pub, and I sing with our a cappella group, the Hilltones. Griffy?
Hi, I'm Griffy Whitman. I'm in the car because I was just at a golf match and I'm on the way to lacrosse. Sorry, I think we're gonna stop moving. But I'm a freshman and this is my first year at SCH. Last year I was on the other side of this call, so it's pretty cool. I play a lot of lacrosse and I just started golf, but I'm able to play at SCH. And I'm in Jewish Community Club and student ambassadors, and I think I'm gonna join the Lit Mag Pub.
Awesome. Thanks, Griffy. All right. So again, any questions that you have, feel free to use the Q&A feature, and we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can in the next 40 minutes. But I think to start, a lot of the families here are looking at 9th grade, and that is one of the natural entry points to join the SCH community. And so I think the first question I'm going to ask is, how did we help you? How was the transition to SCH? How are we helping you in making that transition in 9th grade?
I was started here in 8th grade, so it was I think it was easier for me to go into 9th grade knowing a couple more people. But I know a bunch of people who came in 9th grade and they fit in pretty well. Like, it's a really welcoming community. Like, you're always going to find some group of people that you can talk to. And for the most part, especially within the first couple weeks and couple months of school, there's always going to be people who are actively looking to try to include other people in their groups, especially 9th graders, because everybody's new. So they're all trying to form bonds with people. So I didn't really feel like anybody was left out or anything, which is a big concern for me when I was going into 9th grade.
Yeah, and I can talk about the academic transition. So I went to Wissahickon in middle school, and obviously the academic transition is different for everyone. But what I didn't know or realize before I was at SCH is that everyone's there to help you, and your friends and your teachers and your advisor. Everyone wants you to succeed, and if you're not doing great at something, everyone's there to help you.
What I think Tim was saying was really important. I mean, I had gone to SCH, I've gone to SCH my entire life. So, you might think when you go into 9th grade, it's just, okay, you're moving up another grade level. You have your same friends and, you sort of just, keep going with the flow of things. But 9th grade really felt like, when I went to 9th grade, it really felt like I was going into a new school because, obviously our middle school is single sex. So it's just with boys. So I'm getting introduced to a whole class of girls plus, 30-ish new kids from outside of SCH. So it really doesn't matter if you've gone to SCH or you haven't gone to SCH. because ninth grade is a new experience for everyone. Like nobody has an advantage. We're all sort of starting from the same the same level.
I think also transitioning into ninth grade, one thing the school does is Outward Bound, which is a 5-day expedition out in the woods with your classmates, specifically who's in your advisory. And so you just kind of get to bond with people who, one, like Jack said, the boys class for me, who like you never really met, or the 30 new kids that come in, like you get to bond with everyone and just kind of have like a little family throughout high school that you can just connect with and remember and go back and look back on memories.
Outward Bound. Amanda, was anyone a leader in the Outward Bound? You, Taylor, and Amanda, do you want to talk about bookending the ninth grade and senior year?
Sure. And Taylor can add on to whatever I'm missing. Taylor and I actually met on our freshman year Outward Bound 4 years ago, and then we both decided to reapply to become a senior leader this past summer. So we went with like 8 or 9 other seniors that wanted to kind of come back to be a senior mentor on the freshman trip that just happened like a month and a half ago. And it was a really cool full circle moment for me. I know I had so much fun my ninth grade year because you really are thrown into an environment that no one is really comfortable with. But the bonds that you form with those people are really unique. And coming back, especially with Taylor again this summer, was so much fun. And I know that our friendship has kind of evolved over the last 4 years, and it started on a really cool trip.
Yeah, I think that was perfectly said. It's definitely one of our most unique factors in starting the upper school. And I think we're one of the only schools that actually offers this going into your freshman year. It's all about forming bonds and like leaning on your classmates. And it really like initiates this connection that will last all throughout your high school career.
Awesome. Griffy, did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. One of the things I realized that I didn't know before, and I thought that, oh, we're only in a group of 11 kids or whatever. We'll only connect with those 11 kids. But what I didn't know was that when we got back to school, everyone went on the same trip and everyone stepped out of their comfort zone in the same way. So everyone had that shared difficult learning experience to talk about and connect with each other with when everyone got back. So that was really cool to like be able to have my first conversation with someone I had never met before about like our different Outward Bound stories, even if we weren't in the same group. And obviously you connect with the people who are in your group.
Awesome. Thank you, Griffy. So you actually made a comment earlier just about the teacher connection. And so how do you feel you were, what is the student-teacher relationship like for you guys?
Well, I am really close with my advisor who we get assigned in freshman year, and we have all 4 years of high school. She's like my second mom. She yells at me if I don't get work done. I go to her with every issue I have. She's literally always there for whenever I need help. And I feel very supported by her and also all my other teachers. I've built a lot of great connections with that I can just walk into their classroom whenever and just kind of talk to them about issues I either have with that class or just outside of school.
Yeah, I agree with Kayla. I think we're really lucky in that we have such wonderful teachers. I feel like every year I'm like, oh wow, this is like the best teacher I've ever had. And then I have another really great teacher. And I would say that like even during like free periods and like during lunch, we're still like seeking out some of our teachers and like talking to them after class, and like they know about like, you know, tests that we're worried about, or, you know, colleges that we're looking at. And it's a really nice bond that we're able to have sort of outside of the classroom, but it still helps us with schoolwork because we feel comfortable enough to talk to our teachers if we're struggling with something or if we don't understand something. So that's definitely one of my favorite parts about SCH.
Yeah, just kind of echoing what everyone else has already said. I think the teachers at SCH are both in tune with the student body and also really passionate about what they teach, which makes for a really fun learning environment. And so we have a period of time at the end of every day called SAS. It stands for Student Academic Support. And that's like a 30, 45-minute period where every teacher is going to be in their room. So any student who's seeking help on any assignment from any teacher can go to that room during that time and receive the help that they need. And like Chandler mentioned, it might not even be that you're going to your teacher for help with a certain homework assignment. You might just be going to talk to them about something interesting that's happening in the world, which is something that I really love.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, just one more thing, what Chandler was saying about, connecting with teachers on a personal level. At the beginning of the session, we all listed like all the clubs and activities they were a part of. And I found that it's actually been my teachers that have pushed me to join a lot of those clubs and to help me get me involved. Because they really know you on a personal level. They know your interests. They know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. So it's through those casual conversations that have helped me sort of, find my place in the upper school.
Thank you, guys. And again, for people that maybe just were joining, please feel free to enter any questions using the Q&A feature. We'll happily try to get to questions that maybe come up from what we're talking about. But another question that was submitted had to do with, let's see, what do you value most about SCH and the school here? I'll call on someone if you want. Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to SCH obviously my entire life, and to me, it just always, comes back to the community that we have. It's just a really special group of students and teachers and faculty members, and we're all looking out for each other. We all have each other's backs, and I've just really have made some pretty amazing friendships and connections that are going to last a lot longer than my time at SCH. And one thing that's real interesting that I've realized this year is, obviously last year was a very odd year with COVID and everything, but to come back and be in person every day, like I really appreciated all the friends that I had and my classmates. Especially now that I'm a junior, I've got 2 years left. It's just it's a pretty special feeling to know that you've got these great connections with the people in your class.
I think also going off with Jack, just like, again, the community, but also you become friends through through clubs and sports and all that. You become friends with everyone throughout the high school. It doesn't matter what grade. So just kind of like that inclusive community. Again, you will always see a familiar face in the hallway, and you can always say hi, and you'll just always have someone. And the school is also like the farthest from competitive. So it's very much of like teamwork and cooperation.
Taylor and Griffy, maybe just as students that came in 9th grade, did you find you were able to connect quickly with groups of students, be it students coming up from 8th grade and through the middle school and new students that were joining at the same time as you?
Yeah, like I said, and like some other people mentioned, really everyone's new in 9th grade and everyone's in the same boat, especially after Outward Bound. So like the boys who were at SCH are meeting the girls who were at SCH, and everyone's meeting in my grade, it's 45 new kids. So everyone's in the same spot and everyone wants to make new friends. I didn't feel like anyone was like shutting themselves off from everyone else or just sticking to who they were friends with before. Everyone was super welcoming as soon as I came in.
Going off of that and what Kayla was saying, there is definitely a sense of inclusivity in our environment. I came from a WSIC in middle school, and there were 300 students in my grade. And then coming into a grade with 100 students, you notice or everyone in your grade, even by freshman year. And then you always see a friendly face. And there are also so many opportunities to dive deep into your interests beyond the academic programs. Sorry, I'm going a little more into what I value about the school. And we have blocks such as the activities block to like enhance your passion for these topics.
Thanks, Taylor. Someone asked a question, what have been your favorite classes at SCH?
One of my favorite classes is a class I'm taking now, personal finance. And I think it's really helpful. Like you learn about like managing your money, how to read a pay stub, about like things it's gonna like about like all, personal finance, that whole sort of domain. I think it's really helpful, especially like for me going into college, because as a senior and even like juniors too. It's really helpful because I feel like that's not something that every school offers. It's also something that's really important to, life in general. You're always going to have to manage money and you're going to have to do it well if you want to, have a nice life. So, yeah.
My favorite class would probably be Modern Love, which I took my junior year. And it was basically just analyzing different versions of love in like literature and movies and songs. I remember we had one essay on comparing different wedding vows from different cultures and religions. And it was just a really interesting, fun class.
Jack?
CEL for me is by far has been my favorite class in high school. So for those of you that don't know, CEL is our Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. In ninth grade, every ninth grader takes 2 CEL classes, one each semester, and you're picking from a list of 4 classes. So you're taking 2 of the 4. And then in 10th grade, every 10th grader for a semester creates their own venture as part of the capstone program. So you work on it through the semester, you do lots of research, and then at the end of the semester, there's this big showcase event where you present your findings. And then if you really loved your capstone event, you can continue that into your junior and senior year, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm working on my venture. It's called Student Connect. It's a peer tutoring platform. But CEL has taught me so many life skills. It's really unbelievable. And I've built so many real world connections that has really put me in a unique opportunity. Just yesterday, I was interviewing our CIO of the school, Mr. DiDonato, about like software licensing, and our head of our CEL department, Mr. Glassman, had me talk to a guy out in Chicago who started his own tutoring company. It's like I'm doing this for real, and I'm trying to build a real company for real and make real money for profit. And I just think that's an absolute fantastic way to learn, by just diving in and doing something that's totally for real, and that has consequences, rather than learning through an actual class, a traditional class through school.
Anyone else want to add? Amanda?
I think my favorite class is more of like a couple year long journey of learning Chinese. We've been doing that since like lower school. And then I continued with it through middle school and through high school. I've taken it all 4 years, and it's just something that I've loved, especially with our teachers, because we've not only delved deep into the language itself, but also learned about the culture a lot, which has been super interesting and really, really rewarding as well.
Awesome. And just to, with what Jack had mentioned, the CEL program, for families that might be curious about what the classes are, the classes that you get to choose as a ninth grader are a app development and coding class, a microprocessing and coding class. One will give you a introduction to app development. The other will give you more of an introduction into the engineering and robotics side of it. And then we have a design and fabrication class and a business fundamentals class. So those are the classes that you have the option to choose in ninth grade. Does anybody else want to mention what their capstone projects were?
Mine was like a virtual reality like snowboard simulator, which was like me and my friend Dean, we made it. It was like a wooden box, and it had one of those like exercise Bosa balls. It's like the little half yoga balls. And it was like on a rotator thing and like a snowboard deck. Um, and it was basically like for like snowboarders. He was more of a snowboarder. I was more designing it. And it was more about like, like practicing from like your own home. Like we kind of saw like the ideas of like some of like the other skate things you could do to practice in your house. And we kind of figured that it was a nice little twist on it. People really enjoyed it. I mean, people really liked, getting on it and putting the headset on and, like going through it, which was pretty cool. Yeah, and there was a bunch of other really cool projects. Like it's also like not even like making it. It's like when you're like, you can go around to the other people's projects and stuff and see what they're doing and, like test out their different stuff. Some of them had food. I think some of them had like business ideas and stuff you go listen to. Some of them had games. It was, yeah, it's exciting.
Anyone else want to share theirs?
Well, I did at first we envisioned it as like a kind of like a HelloFresh, if anyone's heard of that, for college students, so that they can make recipes in their dorm. But it more turned into an app where they can find recipes and utilize what they have in their dorm to make their meals for school. But I also did it in middle school. That was a 4-year-long business where we were able to use the 3D printer and the laser cutter, and we tried so many different prototypes, and like the options are endless in the lab at the CL program. So really what you can think of, that you guys can probably make in the CL program.
And for Taylor and Griffy again, did you feel, sometimes the question comes up, are you at a disadvantage coming in as a 9th grader into the CEL program? Do you feel like the classes that you took or are taking in Griffy's situation and current time, how do you feel? Like, were you able to jump right in?
Yeah, I'm in the introduction to microprocessors class right now, and it's learning about like robotics and circuit boards and the engineering side of it, just like you said, Ms. D'Amato. But I don't know much about robotics, but neither does anyone else, and everyone in that class is really excited to learn about it. Obviously a couple kids have more of a coding background or more of a building robots background, but it doesn't really matter if you don't, from my experience.
Just going off of what Griffy said, even if a student does have prior background knowledge to the class they're taking, the classes are meant to challenge you and push you to like better your skills and ability.
Thank you. Another question that was asked, maybe for our juniors and seniors, is what support is there to help you with the college process, the exploring college and the application process? And where maybe are you applying?
We have really, really great college counselors. We have 3, which we're really fortunate to have, because I know at a lot of schools you only have 1, and so they don't really have the opportunity to get to know students personally. But that's not really the case with SCH. And we also have a college counseling class where your junior and senior year, you actually have a class dedicated to working on essays and sort of polishing your application. So I feel like I've been set up personally really well for the college application process. I just applied to Yale actually, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I think we have a really great college process here.
Anyone else want to add anything to that? Kayla?
Oh yeah, I think going off of Chandler, our school also offers, like, the colleges come to our school for visits, so we're able to like meet and like learn about schools in the school environment rather than going out to those schools. It makes it a lot more convenient to learn more and see what your opportunities are.
Were you able to learn about any new schools that you had never heard of before that were interesting to you?
Well, I personally haven't gone to one because I've had a college for a while, but I like even like through college counseling, we were able to research. They pretty much like it was assigned to you to research a whole bunch of colleges, and they just wanted to make sure that you knew all of your options.
Great. Another question that was asked, well, I'll start with this one. What's the dress code in the upper school? Maybe we'll go boy and girl. You can both give your perspectives. Taylor?
The dress code at our school is actually one of my favorite parts of school because we do have like a strict dress code, but it's not a uniform. So you either need to wear a collar or a turtleneck to school every day. And then for the bottom portion, we do have uniform skirts for girls, or you can wear any skirt besides denim. And then you can also wear any like dress pants. And as far as shoes go, you can wear any shoes you want. And then you can also wear like dress shorts in September and May.
For the guys, it's a same thing. It's just collared shirt, and it's khaki pants or shorts. I think it's shorts is only until the end of September and then starting in May, I believe. And then you can't have cargo. It's like any sort of khakis, not cargo shorts or anything, but you can also wear a sweatshirt as long as it's SCH. And occasionally you'll have to wear ceremony attire, which is like a dress. It's like a button-down shirt, a tie. Usually most of the kids have like an SCH tie or like a dark blue, light blue sort of tie, depending on what team they're on. And then they have a blazer, and then like dress khakis or like dress pants. So, yeah.
And every Friday we have Spirit Fridays, which means you can wear a SCH t-shirt or an SCH hoodie. So you don't have to wear a collared shirt that day. It's more of a casual option. You still have to wear the normal dress code bottom, so pants or shorts depending on the time of year. But you do have the option to wear an SCH t-shirt on Fridays.
Thank you. And how about student life? You guys want to talk a little bit about dances, traditions at the school, things that that kind of round out the student body, community, and experience?
I think one thing that I love about the school is the traditions that come with it. Being at the school my whole life, I've looked forward to these traditions since I saw I'm also part of an alumni family at the school, so I've watched my cousins go through it. So kind of looking forward to that. And one of my favorite traditions is Blue and Gold Day, which is our girls' field day. And it's basically races and you run and all of that, but that's really not the point of it. It's more about getting together with your team and kind of dressing up and going all out and screaming your hearts out and just kind of having fun with your grade.
And for the boys, we have Blue and Blue Day. So for all the boys in the school, pre-K to 12, half the boys are light blue, half the boys are dark blue. And ours is set up more of like a track meet, I guess, compared to the girls. So we do a lot of track events, track and field events, relay races on the field, tug of war at the end, hurdles. And it's Blue and Blue is one of my favorite days of the year. It's so much fun, especially now that I've been in 11 Blue and Blue days. And just and especially when you win, it's one of the best feelings in the world to be able to like hold up the trophy with everyone in your class. And and it's also a great opportunity to say, I'm a junior who's 16 years old and you're on the same kid as a pre-K who's 4 years old, and you're all contributing to this total score. So it's just a really great day for the school, and a lot of fun.
Another tradition that incorporates the lower school is our senior buddy program, which every senior gets either a preschool, kindergarten, or first grader buddy. And throughout the whole year, you do activities with them, such as like lunch bunch, lunch picnics. And then on Halloween, you dress up with them in their costume. And it's like sort of a surprise for the lower schoolers, which is super fun. I'm excited for that this year.
And we do have dances, right, guys? We had like a massive dance for homecoming, prom, things like that. Anyone want to mention that? Taylor?
So homecoming usually follows just all of our homecoming games, and it's on a Saturday in September. We have a winter formal, a winter ball, which usually takes place in January, February. That is also a semi-formal. And then I'm not too familiar with prom because I never went, but we have a junior and senior prom, and I know that the location has switched over the past few years. I believe my freshman year, it was at the Urban Outfitters headquarters. And then I know previously it was at the aquarium, I think. And then I don't know other places. Yeah.
Hopefully we have one. We had it on campus. So we did have prom last year, which was really nice, right? Yeah. How about another question that was submitted was, and I'll make it like a two-parter. How much homework do you get? And what do you do when you're struggling in a class?
Usually for me, homework can take between like 30 minutes and like 3 hours between there. It depends on the classes. Usually, like teachers are pretty good with the workload. Like they don't try to overwhelm you with it. I mean, as a senior right now, it's a little overwhelming because of college applications and stuff, balancing that with, homework we're assigned. But for the most part, teachers don't assign ridiculous amounts of work. Usually it's like, I want to say like there's a lot of like papers and stuff we have to do, which is really good, like preparing us for like analytical writing and all that stuff, which I feel like is really helpful because I know kids that go to other schools that don't do that at all. And, it's really going to prepare us well for college and things when we have to do this continuously and like read like large text and stuff and be able to analyze it and, annotate well. And, it's not overwhelming. I mean, sometimes it can be, but usually if you are overwhelmed, you can kind of go to the teacher and be like, I need a little bit extra time. And I've never had a case where I went to the teacher and asked for more time and they didn't give it to me. I mean, unless you asked like the day before and, or like you have a quiz that next period and you ask to take it. But for the most part, they're really understanding. I mean, they get that, you have other classes that are assigning just as much work or even, a little bit more. So, yeah.
Griffy, did you want to say something?
No, I was trying to fix the light. Sorry. But for me, about the homework, it all feels reasonable, and I get a lot even in 9th grade, but it doesn't feel like something that I have no idea why I'm doing it, or like I really feel like it's helping me with the class, and the homework all prepares you for the quizzes and the tests. So it's not at all for no reason like some of the homework I've done in the past.
Kayla?
I think also going off of Tim's point again, like teachers are extremely understanding. Even if like you're struggling or like sometimes I've had a homework situation where I couldn't finish it because I didn't know what I was doing. I could simply email the teacher and they'd give me an extension, but also like be like, hey, why don't you come meet with me so that we can go over this together? And so the teachers are really supportive. And again, like there's the SRS that Amanda was talking about earlier that we can go to our teachers and talk to them, prepare for quizzes and tests. So really, if you're struggling, teachers are extremely understanding. They're there to support you. And going off the workload thing, it feels like a lot sometimes, but it's also pretty reasonable. I've never really had a full night of homework without any breaks or going to bed at like a really late hour. And even like my brother, who is now in college, who went to SCH, he said that like SCH prepared him for the college workload and he feels like fine. So it just really is there to prepare you for college.
Thank you. Oh, Jack, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just one more thing in terms of the workload. A lot of the homework amount depends on whether you're in CP or honors classes. So for most of our subjects at school, we offer the CP, which is the college preparatory course, which is sort of the baseline. I mean, still a pretty rigorous class, but like the baseline subject, more general and more understanding class. And then honors, you have to be recommended and placed in, and those classes are a little bit more rigorous, a little bit more tougher content, and they often assign a bit more homework. But both classes are following the same track in terms of the material that's being covered. It really just depends on the workload and how deep, your class discussions are, and all that.
Thank you. And then a question just came in, continuing on this homework conversation. How difficult do you find it to manage your after school commitments, sports, theater, robotics, and the homework that you are getting? Kayla?
I think also, again, just going off my point, like teachers are supportive and they know that you have a life outside of school, and they know that you're doing all these things that, like, if you email them and tell them that you feel overwhelmed, they're there to help you. And if they know that a large group is participating in something, they'll often bring the workload down, or maybe even like give the night off so that like kids can do their after school things and do what they want to do, but also learn at the same time.
Also, and Griffy, go ahead.
And like Amanda said earlier, there's SAS time every day after school, and that's built in. And if you need help with your homework, or you just want to be able to do some at school before you get home, that's a built-in time every day. And some days you'll have study halls. So I'm able to get a lot of work done during school. And then I don't have so much to do after golf or after lacrosse when I get home.
Thanks, Griffy. And I think another point, and you guys can hopefully say, yes, this is correct. But the way the school schedule works, where you have a 7-day cycle of classes, and there's 5 classes that meet each day. So there are going to be days where you're going to have a break from some of your classes. So that will probably, and maybe just say yes if I'm right, time management skills are learned, and you figure out how to organize your work, and you may find that you do have some time to actually work on assignments. Is that fair? Cool. All right, let's see. Now, a couple of you guys have brought up as well that you're trying new sports than maybe what you first came into at SCH or what you started with. So have you developed any new interests, skills, be it academic interests, athletic, artistic, anything new during your time at SCH?
I remember when I was coming into 9th grade, I had never done anything related to theater at all, and I was kind of terrified of the idea, to be honest. But I got an email like a couple weeks before school started talking about Players Boot Camp, and it was for the crew of the show. And I was like, oh, maybe that would be interesting. So I kind of took a leap of faith and I joined the crew my fall of my freshman year. And it is one of the best decisions that I have made in my high school experience. I've done it every year after that. And the community and players, I think, is one that is really special. It's kind of a sub-community of the school. There are students from all grades that really come together to share their love and passion for theater and performing arts. So there's really always a job for everyone in that community, which is something that I've really loved and I never expected myself doing in high school.
Anyone else want it? Kayla?
Well, like I said earlier, through the CL program, I was able to learn how to use like a laser cutter or a 3D printer, which was really awesome. Now, if anyone needs anything, I can 3D print or do anything. But also freshman year, I was forced on a trip for Model UN that they just needed an extra person, and I have been in it since. It's something that I never thought I would get into. I am someone who doesn't really do a lot of politics and those things, but just joining Model UN has been a really fun time and like a really close-knit group.
I feel like I might be moving backwards a little bit with this, but I just wanted to mention that what Kayla's describing is something that I just realized that I value a lot about the school, is that not only do our teachers know us and push us to pursue things that they know we would be interested in, but there's also an aspect of kind of trying those new things that might push you out of your comfort zone. And when you do that, that's when you can really discover some of your true passions, which is something that I've loved.
Thank you. And let's see, we're coming up towards the end right now. So if there's any other questions that people have, please feel free to enter those questions. There were a lot of people that wrote in asking about the application process. And so not that you guys need to chime in about this, I'll take this one. But if you decide that you are interested in applying to SCH, if you're looking for fall of 22, I would start considering looking at submitting an application at this point, because we are starting to have our visitors on campus. We're having visitors every day. I think families are really happy to hear that. People are in the classrooms. Families can tour once they submit an application. So once you submit that application, your child can come and spend a full day in the 9th grade or whatever grade it is that they're looking to apply for. If you are just starting your research and you're not looking until the 23, 24, 25 school year, first of all, great that you're doing your research so early. But we would probably hold off on having you apply or do any sort of visits until you're in that 8th grade year looking to join in the fall of the following school year. And I am here to help you through the process with helping you understand the requirements that we are looking for, testing, interviewing, all those things. So the first step is just to be submitting an admission application on the website. And then from there, we can get you on campus for a tour and schedule your child's full day visit. But we're going to wrap things up. I appreciate all of my ambassadors for being a part of this event. You guys you're rock stars. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your evenings. Good luck at lacrosse tryouts, Griffy. And to our families, thank you so much for taking an hour out of your evening to talk to our students, hear about their experience here. And we hope to hopefully be seeing you on campus sometime in the near future. So have a great evening.